Today I wanted to share my decluttering journey and talk about how I got rid of almost 90% of my things so I could live a stress-free life. Because trust me, it was life-changing. I was so overwhelmed at one point that I just felt like there was just so much stuff around and it was majorly impacting on my mental health. And when I realised that clutter was one of the major factors in that, it meant that I knew that I could do something about it. And I'm from a family of hoarders, and I've definitely got hoarding tendencies. I like to collect things. I can justify purchasing something as being part of my collection, and that's dangerous territory. So when you start hobbies, you end up wanting to get more stuff to be able to do that hobby when actually you only need a couple of items. Lots of things can be borrowed or can be circulated around people. You don't always need to buy the stuff, but I get so involved in thinking I need to buy lots of things to be able to do this activity that I just end up having loads of stuff. So if you can imagine my home as a cluttered home, it was piles of books everywhere, clothes piled in different places on the floor, some neat, some half used, some just needing to be put away. There were things everywhere. I kept all of my old school books. I had stuff in my parents' loft. I don't have access to my loft, but in previous properties I have, and I've had stuff full up in the loft. And it was stuff that I didn't really use or didn't look at. And it makes you think about why we hold on to quite so many things. And what I realised after developing a chronic illness was actually that all the stuff that I could see, the visual clutter, was majorly impacting my mental health. It was meaning a decision to make. I could see items and think, oh, I need to put those away, or oh, I need to action something with that. And it ends up being quite overwhelming when you have lots of things everywhere that you think you need to action. But if you have less stuff, there's less to be thinking about. So actually it freed up a lot of mental fatigue that I was feeling from my environment. So realising that, I thought enough is enough, I've got to do something about it. And so I really started to declutter my home. Let's talk about the decluttering process. Because I was struggling with fatigue, I did not have lots of time or energy to be able to put towards decluttering. So I had to make it small and manageable. So for me, I had to do small focused chunks as I was going. So one little area at a time or one category at a time, and I would just focus in. And after I decluttered a little bit, there were some new programs that came out. There was the KonMari method, there was the Home Edit on Netflix. There were different shows that were showing ways that you could think about stuff. And one that I really admired was the KonMari method. And that thinks about starting at the non-sentimental items first, like clothing and books, because they are ones that you can really easily see whether or not they fit, they work, that you are going to read it or have read it. It gives you less of an emotional attachment than some of the more important stuff. So they're a good way of building up your decluttering skills and your habits before tackling the harder stuff. So I thought about the items that really sparked joy for me and whether or not they had served their purpose. And I really loved the idea of actually acknowledging the value that I had got out of that item, the value that I'd got from giving it to somebody else as well. So I didn't feel like I lost anything by parting with that item. I kind of thanked the item and allowed myself to move on. And this did help me to understand what truly mattered to me. And I think you'll find it a really helpful process of really knowing what is important, because everybody's going to have different things that they value over other things. And that's okay. Another rule that I really liked was the 20-20 rule. If you could replace the item for under £20 within 20 minutes, then it was kind of safe to let go. I knew that I could easily replace that item, so it wasn't a big loss if I didn't have that item. Obviously, I would think about whether or not it was like that I would need it, but if I was unlikely to need it and I thought that I could get hold of it really quickly if I needed to replace it, then I was like, yeah, it's okay to let go. And as part of the decluttering process, I was really mindful about what I was spending. I was also doing a no spend year at the time, but I also thought about maintaining the level of stuff. So I had a 1 in 1 out policy, so that if I bought something new, I would have to find a like item to remove from my home. So this kept things in check as I was decluttering. So don't forget to think about the digital clutter as well. I think I was quite surprised at how many emails I was getting on a daily basis. Some companies email 5 times a day. It is unnecessary. Guys, if you're listening, I don't need that many emails from you. It's not helping me purchase. Unsubscribe or block any spam emails so that you just don't have any more decisions to make. It stops that process of seeing things and thinking, oh, I should really do something about it. Get rid of them, reduce it down so that you only have the important stuff coming through. And don't forget to organise your computer files as well. It will just make it easier to find things and also easier to work out what you can let go of after a period of time. I also learnt the power of no. I said no to any unnecessary purchases. A no spend year was so valuable to me. It helped me really understand my connection to buying things and that urge and that feeling as to why I impulse buy. And it just put things into perspective for me. And it also meant that I was quite restrictive as to what I was letting in my home. So I'd also be saying no to hand-me-downs that I didn't think I would use. I was quite clear on what was okay for me and my son and what I didn't think would be of value to us. So I said no to things rather than just accepting everything that came my way. I only said yes to things that I really thought would be worth taking. And since decluttering, my life has transformed. My home feels lighter, it feels cleaner, it feels tidier, it feels calm and serene. I feel like I can really truly rest and relax in my space, which is not what I felt before. I felt really stressed and worried in my space, and now I just feel really calm and I feel more in control of my life. So what you'll find is that the benefits of decluttering are reduced stress and anxiety, improved focus and productivity, more free time, increased sense of calm and well-being, improved sleep, and more money saved. It's like a win-win scenario. And maintaining a minimalist lifestyle takes a lot of ongoing practice and ongoing rethinking about spaces and the things that you're bringing in. So I continue to declutter, I continue to keep an eye on my spaces and make sure they are working for me. I would love to know how you're getting on with your decluttering journey so far. Are you midway? Are you near the end? How are you doing? What things have you noticed along the way? Are you getting the benefits? I found the benefits quite quickly. As soon as I started, I could just feel my sense of calm coming through. It was just really powerful. Let me know how you are finding it as you're going. And if you've enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and press subscribe if you want to see more videos about decluttering or minimalism or my no spend year. And I shall be back for more videos soon. Take care. Bye.